Wherever there is injustice, you will find me. Wherever there is suffering, I'll be there. Wherever liberty is threatened, you will find... And even in the snow, Tacomaholic will be busy bringing you the next video. Alright everybody, welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great weekend depending on where you are. A lot of the US is getting snow currently, even some of the deep south I've seen. So getting a little bit here in Northern Virginia, but nothing too crazy. Of course, drivers around here don't need much to get a little insane. So today's video is sort of going to be a follow-up to a video I did last week where I went over 3 mods you might want to avoid doing to your truck if you do plan on getting off-road, which I will go ahead and link to above. Go ahead and check that out if you have not already. So today, I do plan on doing a sequel to that video in the future, but today I'm going to go over 3 things that already come on your truck. So from the factory, from the dealership, OEM items, stock items that you might want to remove before you get your truck off-road. So let's dive right in and see what we're talking about. Okay everyone, so the first item I will be going over, in case you couldn't tell, is the front anti-sway bar, or just plain sway bar. And also, if you could not tell, it is pretty heavy, so I was go ahead and getting a quick workout in since I already had it off. So the main purpose of the sway bar from the factory is a safety reason. What it does pretty much is tie on your front suspension. It ties one side of the truck into the other side, and just like the name implies, it keeps your truck from swaying if you have to do any, high-speed maneuvers. It limits the roll of the truck, which is obviously a safety issue, especially if you start lifting your trucks and all that. Where the problem comes in, and why I say you might want to remove this if you do plan on going off-road, is that safety feature which keeps the truck from rolling as much. And we're just talking about a few inches here, but what is good when you're on pavement as a safety feature is actually a hindrance when you're off-road, because that anti-roll is pretty much going to limit how much your truck can flex from side to side when you're going over obstacles. So with the anti-sway bar installed on the front of your truck, it might limit you just those few inches I mentioned to where one of your tires is actually hanging off the ground, not getting any traction. And obviously no traction is the exact thing you want to avoid when you get off-road. The good news is it is very easy to remove the sway bar. It's just a few bolts on either side, and actually when I removed mine, I actually was able to remove it with my front IFS skid plate installed. You just gotta kind of work the angle. Once you get it unbolted, you are able to slide it out even with that skid plate installed. Obviously, if you don't have the skid plate, it comes off rather easily. I will go ahead and give you a safety warning. This is heavy, probably about 20 or 25 pounds. Not crazy heavy, but it is heavier than it looks. So chances are when you are removing this, you will have the sway bar hanging directly over your face or your body. So just beware. Don't let this fall and crack you in the face and ruin your day. I know I've seen some Jeeps that have convenient sway bar disconnect kits, so you can literally leave your sway bar on all the time, and then when you get off-road, you can simply detach it so you can get that extra flex. I have not seen anything for Tacomas, so hopefully that'll be something we might get in the future, but who knows. Okay guys, the next 2 items on my list of things you might want to remove before taking your truck off-road are kind of fun because they both fall into the same theme that if you do not remove them, the trail might do it for you. So what you're looking at right here for me is a complete set of the factory mud flaps. You might say, well, that's only 3 of them, and yes, because the very first time I went off-road, you can see I have the 2 rears and only 1 front. I guess I had backed up a little bit, and this was hanging down so low that it got sandwiched between either a rock or, the ground, and when my tire touched it, it actually ripped it directly off, and I had no idea. I didn't notice till I got home that it was missing, and by then it's too late, and it had actually torn all it's just little plastic clips hanging it on anyway. So that's why I say you might want to remove these whenever you're off-road. Very easy to remove them, probably just 5 or 6 little plastic tabs. So it is something you could pop on and off, put them back on when you're on the road if you're on gravelly roads to avoid those rock scratches and stuff getting down the side of your truck. But again, if you don't remove these, the trail might just do it for you. Alright everybody, and the last thing I'd recommend removing, I actually don't have mine on mine anymore because it is something that is attached to the factory bumper, rear bumper particularly. As you can see, I've got an aftermarket bumper, but on the factory bumper, for at least the second gens, I believe the third gens, Toyota finally wisened up and removed this thing or relocated it. On the factory bumper, immediately to the left of the license plate, is the factoring. If you do have the trailing package, it's a plastic piece that actually holds the plug for your wire harness and everything. This small plastic piece will actually hang down a good 5 or 6 inches below the bumper, making it a perfect target for just about anything you encounter when you get off-road. I can almost guarantee you it will be the first thing you break on your truck the first time you get off-road, which is exactly what happened to me. I was going over a small hill, and when my bumper came down, and I wasn't going fast, this piece that was hanging down right here cracked right on the ground, and it didn't shatter, but it did break the plastic surround that was holding the plug in. So what I've got for mine now, I had a trailer package on mine, but I don't have it anymore because I know I will never tow anything with my Tacoma. So I have the plug-in for the harness and everything just wrapped up in a bag and zip tied up here because I don't want it hanging down, and I know I'm never going to tow anything. If you would still like your plug-in available, I will put a link in the description below where you can get, there's an aftermarket product made by a guy on Tacoma World, which is a custom metal piece that holds that plug, and instead of hanging it down, it relocates it, I guess, upward another 90 degrees, so it was higher than where the bumper's hanging. And it just bolts either to the frame or to the back of the bumper. So that's a nice mod you might want to consider doing. Again, I will put a link for that down in the description below. Okay everyone, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found something useful in here that might either save you from breaking a factory component or maybe give you just a little bit more off-road performance with the sway bar thing I mentioned. If this is your first time stopping by, please consider subscribing. Comment below if you can think of any other factory OEM items that you might want to remove before you go get off-road. And hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload, which is twice a week guaranteed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Get in there, get some hot chocolate. If you are in an area of the country where you're getting a lot of snow, get out there and do some snow wheeling. Post some videos up. See you in the next video.